And I'm gonna mute myself. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. We're on week 2 of our Coach Basics training. And so we're going to go over our ads and our posting and our inviting with everybody. So thanks for taking time and tuning in and listening to us. So we suggest that when you're posting on Facebook, we keep talking about your why and why do you want to post and how that's really important. I think that was like a major change for me to think about that way, because normally when I just posted about my kids, I was just kind of like, hey, look at me. And I didn't, we just posted us teasing in a picture, but now you're trying to think of it as why you want to post. And so I emphasize that a lot and try to really think to myself, will this help anybody, and how will this help anybody? Why would they even want to read it? And it kind of helps me with my post. So we discuss posting anywhere from 3 to 5 times a day at different times. And the reason why we discuss this is because there's some people on at all different times. You got your early risers, you got your people that stay up late, you got your people that during lunchtime, they're eating lunch and scrolling through your phone. So even though 3 to 5 times a day may seem like a lot, you're not hitting the same people. Plus, if you haven't really talked to people online or through messages or interact with their profile and what they're doing, different people are going to see it. So don't fret about it. You just post, and because you're trying to keep in mind that what I do is just you're trying to help others. And so you're not trying to be all about me. You're trying to help others, give them tips and ideas. So we kind of talk about, like, pick a few things that are like your jam and what you is about you. So like I used to scrapbook a lot. Well, I don't scrapbook much anymore, so I don't really talk about that as much, but you might. I used to bake, and so I can connect with a lot of people that bake. Or is your faith important to you, and you can use your faith in that? Is your family important to you? Talk about how you do things to help your kids and your family stay on track. Or what is it about you? So there's kind of like, you hope people talk about your 5 things, like your faith and fitness, and you want to keep things fun, and recipes, healthy recipes. I've gotten to a thing where I'm helping people modify their workouts to work best for them. So you kind of find some things to post and then try to keep consistently posting about those. I do have this I thought I'd share real quick, and let me pull it up real quick. I'll do a screen, or can I screen share? Yeah, here we go. I'm going to pull this up real quick because I think this is kind of neat, and I can post this in the group. But let me move this. So I had done a slide thing before about posting and doing, and it talks about like just some ideas. So some people, that's their hardest thing. They don't know what to post. And so we are going to talk about, like, you could post your meals, post your workout selfie, but tell them why you did your workout. How did it make you feel? Do you feel better? Do you feel like you can tackle on the day now that you've done it? You're pumped up because you did one more push-up than you did last time, so you feel like you're gaining strength. One of my girls tagged me on a post saying that she played golf this weekend, and she was able, her stamina and her endurance was way better after doing one round of the 21-day fix. So just little things like that. And she's not even a coach, which I was like, oh my gosh, I love you. But she is already thinking, she's not a coach. She's just a challenger in the group, but she's already using her why she likes the 21-day fix because it's helped her golf game. So things like that. Another idea is things in the kitchen that help you. Like, what are your favorite tools? I love my salad spinner to dry my lettuce, to dry my fruit, because I wash my fruit and dry everything. So what are your tools that you would use? Take a picture of it with you cheesing on it. They want to see you. I promise. They want to see you. So those are just some things. So on this little calendar, you could say like, you're celebrating a business victory. You're celebrating a mom tip, your favorite Shakeology recipe. Instead of just use with the Shakeology, explain your recipe and what you like about it and how it helps get you in all your vitamins and gives you your energy for the day, and why you personally like it. So, I even like this, what is it for your faith or inspiration, if you can see on there, but I can post this image. What are you doing for your lunch? Tell about your story. Tell about a non-scale victory. You could tell about a scale victory too, if you feel comfortable doing that. And I have one more that's and I'll do both of these. And some of it is just like, stop right now. What are you doing? people do that all the time when they're sharing with, what am I doing with my family? Well, what are you doing right now today? And take a picture of you holding your little one or playing with your pups and stuff. So not everything has to be Beachbody. They want you're more or less sharing your story and how Beachbody intertwines in there. But people are going to want to be a part of your groups or your team or something because they want you and they like you. So, I think Rachel and I both have a lot of faith together with our things, but some people are going to connect more, and we do have some similarities with having two boys and stuff, but there's going to be some people that would connect more with her than more with me, or vice versa. And so you are just expressing you on these posts. So, and I will say it's, okay to look at somebody else's post and kind of grab some stuff. And I do it too. I've grabbed some of Rachel's stuff and I'm like, oh my gosh, I love that. And do it. And then, but still try to put your own little twist and your, own little thing on it, because it's got to be you, or people will know it's not you, if that makes sense. So there's some people that I follow that I totally snag some of their stuff and I just kind of tweak it to be more me. So let me see what here. Oh, I was going to say, it totally feels weird at first. Okay. Trust me, we've all felt that way, that you're like, I'm not really sure. This is kind of odd, but people just kind of get used to it after a while. So don't fret about that. Let me see. It starts, like we said, it becomes natural. People kind of expect it. And like I said, it doesn't need to be all Beachbody related. Share pictures of you and your family and your dogs and random stuff like that. So it just helps you. So some ideas: are you a stay-at-home mom? Do you homeschool? Are you a working mom? Because that, is something that I can't really connect with. I don't work outside of the home. I stay, I was a baker at home, and then I work, now I do this at home. So some people may not connect with me because I don't work outside the home and do a challenge group and a coach. So your story is going to help you connect with those people. Let's see, I'm just looking over my notes here for a second. Okay, let's talk about your Facebook and what it should look like. And so we talked about, we really want to see your face. So we talked about your profile picture should really be you and your face. We said that if it's you and your husband or you and your family, they can probably figure it out who it is. But if it's you and a bunch of girls, they're not going to know which one it is. So make sure it's a clear picture of you, and that so the person, if they came to your page, they would know that it's you. And your banner the same way. The way I have it is a picture of me is my Facebook profile picture. And then for my banner, I have on my personal page, it is my family, because I feel like my family is very important to me, but yet I'm still using my page to help share my story. So I personally have picture of me as my profile, and my big Facebook cover is my family page. What about you, Rachel? What is yours?
I was actually just going to look. I haven't updated mine in forever, but it definitely has my family in it. But I was trying to think. I think maybe I have like a scripture verse in it. Yeah, it's me and my family and a scripture verse. Yep.
So it's totally your jam. It's who you are, and it just kind of shows that. Yeah. Instead of just putting like a quote with no picture on it or anything like that. Oh, my screen just went blank. Sorry about that. So you, I'm going to stop my screen share. So you're putting more in than just you're sharing with who you are. So let's see.
I want to say something.
Yeah.
And in all of this, like, I think that one of the biggest downfalls as a new coach is that we compare our stuff to other people. And yes, I think it's awesome for you to look at me and to look at Timmy and Melissa, and even, like Melanie Mitro is our upline. She's like the top coach in the whole organization. I think it's good to get ideas from us, but it definitely, like Timmy's saying, it has got to be you. You're going to, your story, your family, your pictures, are going to attract a totally different person than ours are. So my suggestion for new coaches is always to pick a few people that you kind of respect and look up to and how they run their business, and follow them, but don't start following tons of different coaches and comparing all your posts and your images and things to them.
Go crazy.
That's dangerous. You're going to want to quit like next week if you do that. So, but that's just my tip, is don't compare.
Yeah, absolutely. I do agree. Because, like, I even say, and you think about it in your challengers, don't compare your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 21. You know, it's definitely a live and learn. Just like with fitness, if someone's been doing this for a year, you can't be where they're at because you're just starting. So, same thing with starting a new job, just like we're doing here. So, don't compare your first couple ones, because trust me, we've all had, you know, those posts that we just didn't know what to post and we did something. So, it's definitely a live and learn process, and you'll start to see the more pictures I saw that I was actually in them, I would get more likes versus the pictures I would just post of my food. So I do a little mixture of them. Sometimes I don't like how I look that day, and so I take a picture of my food, and some days I'm in it with my food. So you just really want to just show who you are and showcase who you are. So some objections that you might get is, and you want to address those in some of your posts, like, you know, I don't have time. Well, one of the great things about Beachbody is we have workouts that are 30 minutes or even 22 minutes, the 22-minute hardcore. So that's a great, like a workout post that you're not sure what to say. Be like, man, I'm glad it was only 30 minutes to get it done. And then I'm done and I can move on for the day. I didn't have to drive to the gym, put my kids in daycare, pick them up from daycare again, put them back in the car and head back home to take a shower to get ready. You know, you just say, I get fit in my living room. I hashtag a lot living room fit, because I mean, it's what, you know, a lot of times we're just in our room, in our living room, or in our garage, and we get it done. We're in and we're out. So, you know, staying on track. My big thing of talking about Shakeology is that I am such a sweet lover that really helps me stay on track. So I share a lot about, instead of just posting my Shakeology and saying I did it, I share a lot about how I need that chocolate fix at the end of the day, or how homework is stressful for us when school's when school's in session. And that is like my stressful time, because you're trying to get your kids your homework done. You're trying to get ready for dinner or get them ready for their sports and their practices. And I am a stress eater. So if things get too out of control, I start like digging through the closet trying to find something, but it's in my schedule. It's school time. I will have that every time. My boys have it with me. So we post in our pictures that we're all having it. It's our after school snack. So, you know, and that goes with like your family being a part of it and being all involved. Were you going to say something, Rachel? Okay. Okay, so those are some of the objections you can talk about in your post, because people are going to be wondering and thinking those things. If you had an objection, use that and say, I felt the same way, and you're using that same objection that you had, and you can talk about those. Those are exactly things you can post. And so the best way to know that you're struggling with things and you don't know what to post and you feel unsure, and we'll stress that, is reading your personal development. And the personal development just really helps you stay on track and lets you know that those little things that you're doing each day will compound and will and help you reach your goals. Rachel, do you have anything to add right there? Okay. Next, we're going to talk about your ads. And what I mean by ads is, like, sometimes we post a picture of ourselves and we're talking about our challenge groups. And then sometimes I like post a picture of myself and I even list things on there. You want to kind of sometimes change things up. So sometimes I'll have a picture of me and my family, or a picture of me, and I'll even list the things that you can benefit from joining our challenge group, sample meal plans, you know, I'm drawing a blank right now. You know, all the different things that we benefit, to support, accountability, place to check in, someone to lift you up and keep you going and to cheer you on and encourage you, a place to find sample recipes and sample snacks, you know, different things like that. So sometimes I'll do a picture of just me and I'll talk about it. And sometimes it'll be like a little, like an ad, like you would see in a magazine, even, like people are talking about sharing, you know, anything else about being healthy, about life. It's a picture of a person, and then they're just on there is written what they do. So you want to make sure you have a really good picture, and again, your story, why, and what you're going to help them with, and why does the groups help you. So
can I share the last one that I did that I got a lot of good response on? And actually, y'all, I took a cue from Timmy, because she's just like, she's awesome at pictures. So this was my on Sunday night. So you hear us talk a lot about how Sunday evenings, Sunday afternoons are a good time to post and invite And so Timmy's always just posting like a picture of herself. Just sometimes she's funny, sometimes she's serious, sometimes she just looks super cute. And it's something that always makes me stop to read what she says. So, you know, I've spent probably a year and a half of my business trying to create all these images on PicMonkey and through Canva for my challenge group ads and make sure I have wording on there and stuff. But something like this lately gets me more traction. And all that I did for this ad, this was my ad. And so, you know, sometimes I do, you guys have probably seen my Gain ad where it says, you know, I'm like outside and I'm holding that, you know, the image that I created that says Gain on it. And that's great. That was fun. And I think it serves a purpose. But this right here, I just actually took some of the points from Timmy's post. Did I share my screen? I did, didn't I?
Yeah. I can see it.
I took some of the points that Timmy shared in our group last week. I just literally copied and pasted them into this and I wrote my part of the story, talked about how I had, you know, tried all these diets, I'd yo-yoed, yada, 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 and then told my story. And then I explained the challenge group and I said, you know, I've got 3 spots left in my July 18th group. And I invited people. And from that post, I have sold, at least 2, maybe 3 challenge packs.
Just, you know, sharing your story.
Yeah, it was just me talking about me and what had worked for me. So, you know, that's really key.
I agree. So, I mean, like we said, you can use Canva, you can use Photify, but sometimes people just want to see you. And the same thing, I would spend all this time like adding words and doing all this stuff. And like she said, those ads do have a time and a place, because I think maybe the new people that you don't know yet that you're adding to your thing, that will grab their attention too and be like, what is she doing? Because it has like a purpose. They don't know you yet. So a picture of you may not stop their scroll because they don't know you. And so that serves a purpose too. So I say, you know, a little bit of each. Like it will serve a purpose at some point, but then also once people get to know you, they just want to see you. And I do a lot of just like goofy faces, because I feel like people are like, what is she saying now type thing. But I mean, that's just kind of my personality. I come up with stupid jokes. My husband looks at me like I'm nuts, you know, but that's just kind of my personality. I don't make sense a lot. I tangle my words all the time. And so I end up making goofy faces because I feel like it kind of just grabs people's attention and they're thinking, even if they're shaking their head, like, what is she saying now? You know, you just never know. So, you know, let's see, let me think here. Oh, you want to share what you're offering. And so like we talked about, you want to share, list those things, but then also you need to give them like a call to action. That just is a fancy word to tell them what to do next. So you're sharing what you love about what you do, what you love about your challenge groups. Okay, so they're interested, they're drawn in. Now what do? You know, you give them a date, because sometimes people need to have in their head a start time. My son needs to know everything. He's 11 years old and he has a date book because he likes to write down when we're going on trips. People need to sometimes have a specific start date. They need to get their mindset ready. Give them a start date on when you're going to start. Tell them what to do next. They can either message you, or you could do a WooFoo form, which I don't know if you've talked to any of your coaches about a WooFoo form, but we can share ours in the group, and I can give you a link. And you could, I mean, I don't care if you copy mine exactly. They're free. You get 3 free ones. And basically what it is, it's just a form asking a bunch of questions: your name, your email, what interests them about the challenge group, and what program do they think that they might be. And then I also ask, what is their favorite type of exercise? Like, do they like resistance training? Do they like, cardio? Do they like a little mixture of things? Are they a weightlifter? And so I ask that. And so I sometimes put that in my post, and sometimes I put it in my comments, just so that it maybe someone sees that, hey, somebody commented, and they click on it and they see it's my post. It's kind of like sometimes if you see a comment, you want to see what someone else is saying, and I just add it in my comments too. So I do a mixture of playing around with actually put it in my post, and sometimes I put it in my comments. But you need to let people know, because if you've attracted them in with your picture, you need to let them know what the next step is so that you can start getting in touch with them. So sometimes I change it up. Sometimes I say message me. Sometimes I put a woofu form in. Sometimes I say drop your email below to get the deets. Or, sometimes I just say comment below, I'm in, and I'll contact you. So it doesn't always have to be the same way. In fact, sometimes it's good to kind of switch things up. What are some things that you do, Rachel?
I do the same thing. Like, I honestly just play with it. I mean, there's no real rhyme or reason to what, there is a reason. I don't mean that, but I just try different things, and sometimes I'll say, because a lot of times I'm posting to Instagram and putting it on my Facebook page. And so if I say over there, the link is in my profile, I have to edit it out of the Facebook page. And anyway, so I find, really, honestly, some people will fill out my woofu form. If I use it, I'm like you, I post it in the comments. Some people, nobody sends me an email, honestly. I don't ever get just an email.
I'll get a direct message, but not.
Yeah. And so, but I put my email out there anyway sometimes. But honestly, usually the comment or message me, that's typically how people do it. And a lot of times most of the people that message me will never, ever like or comment on my posts, truthfully. So, I made that video earlier today, you guys were saying I don't think people are watching me or whatever. People are watching you.
They are.
People are watching you. So one lady that commented or messaged me yesterday after I posted that one on Sunday night, she never liked it. She didn't comment. She never likes my stuff. But she's been following me for 2 years and she sees what I'm doing, and so that's the thing. It's important to give people a call to action, because there are those people with that personality that aren't afraid to like it, that aren't afraid to comment, I'm in, add me, send me more, but at the same time, you can't base your success on people's actions in relation to your posts, because I'm telling you, I would say probably 75% of the people that contact me about a challenge group don't ever do anything on my social media page. So.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, when I first followed Melanie, I was religious about checking in with her and not checking with her. I would go to her page if I didn't see it, because I needed to see that she did it. And my whole thing was, if she could do it, I could do it. I never once liked anything. I never once commented on anything, but I did fill out her woofu form and just wanted to, one time it was posted and I was like, okay. And I even said, do not call. I didn't want to talk to her. I was like, email only. I didn't, because I wanted to be able to pick and choose how I responded back and stuff. So I'm not a liker and commenter or anything at all. So I get the same thing. So my personality is not to do with some of that. Now I realize I want to show interest to other people, and I do, but it wasn't my thing. I was just an observer 100%, but you never know which observer is going to be your rock star challenger. So I just think you just kind of stay consistent. And like you say, some people are saying, and no one's posting, no one's saying anything, but people are watching, and you just need to be, share your story is the most important part. So it gets easier. So if you'll know that we feel the same way, there's times even now I'll post something and I'm like, oh, and then I'll just go, you're just trying to share your story. My most nerve-wracking story that I posted was about why I was a coach. And so I shared about my yo-yo dieting and how I even went down to 500 calories a day. And I shared that, and I almost deleted it after I posted it. And I can share it in the group, but it's pretty much just this is me. This is why I'm a coach and why I try to help others. I got the most interaction with that. I think just because and not maybe interaction likes, I think just because I was honest and raw and shared my story. And I think that was probably, I've talked about yo-yo dieting, but I never talked that I withheld calories down to 500 calories a day with people. That's pretty extreme, trying to do stuff. And that, I think it was just other people message me and say, can I share your story? I know someone that is struggling and does the same thing. So I was like, yeah, sure. That's exactly what I'm here for. So it takes a while to get the courage to do that. But no, I think people appreciate it more than just, I do my workout, type stuff is really important. important to understand.
Yeah, and that, I would say that's one thing. People are not drawn to perfection at all. They're drawn to people who are like them. And so, the things that you struggle with the most, whether it's like you hit snooze 15 times, or we're up all night with your kid, or you just would rather go to bed early than get up on a team call. When you start to talk about coaching and things, the things that you struggle with the most are the things that really get people's attention the most, because they can relate. And so you don't want to look perfect. You want to look like you want your life to be what it is, and to share how you overcome and you make your health, your fitness, your business a priority.
And I think, that was hard for me, because I thought if I'm trying to say I am a coach, I couldn't tell people that I goofed. Or that I had pizza as my cheat meal or something, or I had 2 cheat meals that week. But then I realized, as I shared, I'll share pizza is my weakness. And I'll even post something like, oh my gosh, I'm, dying over here, or I had to do it. The more I think I'm as perfect, the more people will relate and comment, oh my gosh, I love pizza too, or, whatever it is. But I think it was hard for me to do that, because I felt like I had to be perfect. And I think it realizes that I'm not perfect. So you would see me draw away from the social media when I was having a rough time. But instead, now I try to use that as, hey man, like this morning, I totally hit snooze all day and didn't wake up so late. And I wrote a little thing about and some tips to help people, if you did do the same thing, how to move on for the day. And some of it was like, hey, try to do some squats while you're, throughout the day or something like that. And some of it was, it's okay. It's one workout. You're not going to destroy everything that you've worked for. It's one workout. Get on the horse and get back on it. So tomorrow. So it was a little bit of, hey, try this, and a little bit of keep your mindset right and stay positive, because it's a journey, and that one mistake is not going to ruin everything. So, and I didn't get up early. I slept in real late. If I was a working mom, working mom outside of the home, some people, wouldn't relate to me about that, because I did my workout at 9:30. So I tried to, talk about, I understand that is a blessing that I have in my life, and not everyone does. And so I try to make sure that those moms knew, even though I have a way to do it, doesn't mean that they have to ruin their time. So I try to group all that stuff in there. So use your failures. It doesn't mean you're a failure, just you messed up. Use those to help others, because they're going to be in the same boat. They have experienced the same thing. So, okay, I'm going to real quick talk about inviting and why inviting is important. And I'll be honest, I still struggle with this a little bit. So maybe Rachel can add in too, but this is the best way someone described it to me. You're talking on Facebook, join my challenge group and this and that, and it's going to be awesome, because we offer sample recipes, how to do things for your family. You're telling them everything you're going to offer them, but then you don't send them a personal invite. And the best way someone described this to me, and I just thought it was awesome. You're talking about your son's birthday party, and you're saying, I am so excited. We have rented out the best park. We're going to have bouncers out there. We're going to have, all these people out here to take pictures, a photo booth. We're going to play dodgeball over here. We're going to do this over here. We got someone bringing in all kinds of pizza and great cake. You're bragging about how awesome this party is going to be, but you never sent out anyone, and you didn't invite them to the party. You didn't invite them and let them know, hey, I want you to be a part. And so I thought that was interesting. If I don't actually send out the invitations personally to somebody to come to my son's birthday, they are not going to come, because they don't necessarily think they are invited to be a part of it. And so that was like, oh, yeah, I am saying, hey, this is awesome. And those people that may not know if it's for them or not, this is their personal invite to my party. They don't have to come. They can decline because it's not for them, or they're busy, or whatever it is. But I still send out all those invitations to my boys' parties and find out whoever's supposed to be in there will be at my boys' parties, and they will be blessed by that, and whoever gets to celebrate with them. So I feel like that's a way that I learned how to show like I'm inviting them. So I'm personally sending them an invite. So Rachel, do you want to add anything to that?
That's awesome. I've never heard it but that way.
Well, It struck a chord with me because I realized you're talking about how awesome it is, but yet you've never just sent them a personal invite. And if you talk about how awesome your party that you're going to have for, 4th of July and stuff like that, but you didn't invite anyone personally, no one's going to actually come. So that's just how that's the one, when I heard it or, I guess a year, I don't know how long ago I heard it, but it was like, oh yeah, that makes sense.
And some people, like you said, may not think that it applies to them. They may just think it's for people who already work out, or people who, have a ton of weight to lose, or, there are all these misconceptions. And so when you reach out to someone individually and you invite them, then if they have questions, you can answer them. But if you never, ever approach them, then they won't know that they could do it too. So,
yeah. I think it's kind of funny because I'll have a wide range of people that say, oh, Beachbody or those home workouts are not for me because I'm, advanced, like CrossFitter or this or that or something like that. But then people will also say, it's not for me because I can't do all that stuff. And so I think it's funny. You got to really, one of your whys and posting about the at-home program is the wide variety. Are you a CrossFitter that likes to do kettlebell swings and snatches? Try hammer and chisel. Are you a person that has injuries? Try plyo or some of these dance workouts. So I think a good part of your why is discussing the different programs, because I think people don't realize that the at-home can work for no matter where you're at in your stage. I mean, I had some people that never showed interest in before because they were big CrossFitters, but when my husband and I did hammer and chisel and we showed doing snatches and all these kind of weird stuff that normally was not my thing, it interests some people. And I people purchased it because they can't always go to the gym and can't always do it. So it was a good option for them to do it at home. Let's see here. What else were we saying? Oh, and again, it's the same thing with your posts. If people aren't liking and not saying anything, don't fret about it. It's just how it is. I mean, people are checking in on you, but like I said, I never was someone that would comment and post, but people will still follow. But I tell you what, if I didn't see her post in my feed, I would type in her name and make sure to see if she did it, because I felt like I was getting the encouragement from her. If she could do it, I could do it. And that's what finally led me to just go ahead and fill out her WooFoo. So real quick, I guess we could talk about who to invite and stuff. And so I posted in the group, and I don't know, Rachel, if you've ever done that. Have you downloaded your friends list from Facebook? I posted that in there. It was kind of like a new thing for me because I struggled with, well, who do I invite? What do I say? And this and I can, it's in the group or whatever, but instructions on how to actually download your list. And I would just go through, and the people that I felt most comfortable with, that I might have forgotten about, I did those people first. And then then I looked for people to start connecting with again and reaching out who I haven't talked to in a while. People from high school or from college that I haven't seen in a while, and start connecting with them. And then I would feel comfortable saying, hey, have you ever thought about, and some of my invites are not major. Hey, have you ever thought about doing that challenge group, joining my challenge group that I'm doing? I don't know if you know about it. I mean, most people do know by now. So a lot of times the beginning ones were, I don't know if you know about it or not, but now most people know. But I'll be just like, hey, have you ever thought about joining one of my challenge groups? And it's not like a big long list of things. And some people be like, yeah or no, but I think once you build those relationships, the quick little, hey, have you ever thought about doing one of my groups with me, isn't as scary as a big cold calling or cold, email. That's just me. I don't do a ton of those. I've really formed and talked to people a lot. And it maybe, takes more time because you're trying to really get to know the person. But it's got to be what you do. Some people like Instagram. I know and some of that I kind of get the idea of it is because you don't necessarily know people. And so you can maybe feel like a little bit bolder about it. So I know some people choose to do Instagram more as their way of social media and talking about it versus Facebook, because a lot of Facebook is your friends and family. So you just got to figure out what's your jam and what you feel most comfortable with. But we do have that memory jogger if you don't have Facebook and you don't know how to download that list of people. But having that list in front of me was like a whole game changer. And I actually have it in, well, I used to have it in an Excel spreadsheet. Now I have it in something called Google Streak, and I can keep up with it. But so we have some sample invites that we posted in the group, and also there's a Google Doc. I think I think I put it in Word that we posted of a few sample invites of talking to people. And just build those relationships. It's very important. Drop a person a line that you haven't talked to in a while. Hey, how are you doing? I saw the picture. I saw, a lot of people put beautiful pictures on their Facebook that they got taken. And so how old are your kiddos? And where did you what photographer did you use? And that's one of my most popular questions right now. It's been a while since we've had family pictures done, and I'm really trying to gather up and talk to different people about photography and getting more pictures done for our family. So I'll be like, oh, is that photographer in Midland? Because I need to touch base. So I'm asking them for me, but I'm also asking to connect with them because I have a list of photographers I want to get with and talk to and find out their pricing and stuff. So just, scroll through a couple pages and see what they've been up to. A lot of good ones during the holidays. Hey, how was your 4th? Or how was your summer vacation? So you're just connecting with people you haven't talked to in a while. You're friends with them for a reason on Facebook. So reach out to them and just see how they are. So do you have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I'm like you. I do a lot of connections, like I don't send a ton of cold invites, but if I do, it still sounds like me. And I do it in a way that it's not, like I said before, sleazy, I always make a connection first. I hate worse than 2 things I hate about social media: being added to a group without being invited. Okay. I hate to be added to a group. I'm always like, leave the group, don't put me back in, And so the second thing is I hate to be sent a cold message trying to sell me something. There is nothing I hate worse than that. It just crawls all over me. And so I am determined. And that's the cool thing about what we do as coaches. I mean, there are so many. I think network marketing is awesome. I think it is. I think that if you have the drive, you have the determination, you have the ability to get over yourself and just do something, like network marketing and, coaching is the potential is just, you can do whatever you want to with it. But I don't like to be salesy. And so I do a lot of connecting. I do that every day. I add new people to my contact list. I add friends on Facebook or Instagram or whatever. And so what my method is, I do send some cold invites, but it's only after I've been friends with them for a while. So I'm not going to send a friend request to Susie and then tomorrow invite her to my challenge group. I just think that's sleazy. And so my process is I'll add some friends on Facebook. I'll start to follow them. I'll kind of see what they're about. And I don't spend a lot of time doing this, but I might like a couple of their photos. And then one thing you'll notice is that when you start to kind of move and interact on their page, they'll kind of pick up on you. And so you'll start to notice people will start to like your photos. People will start to comment or comment on or like pictures of your kids or something. And so that's where I start. And so I will just kind of move the relationship along. I might send a message and say, hey, like you said, your photos were great. Your trip looked awesome. We're thinking about going to Disney World. Do you have any tips, or something like that. And it's always totally genuine. I don't want to be fake. I'm not that girl. I don't want to be fake. And so I start a lot of conversations, but a cold invite is not a bad thing, but you have to lead with something, like, hey, I hope you guys are doing well. It looks like your family, your kids are growing up so fast. I can't believe it. And then I lead into like, I just wanted to, I'm trying to help as many people this month. If you don't know, I run fitness challenge groups where I help people meal plan and learn to clean, eat, and work out. And my goal this month is to help as many people as I can. And I just wanted to see if you might be interested in joining us. And you'll be surprised at what that does. That opens the doors to like, oh my gosh, yes, I'm having so much trouble losing weight, or I've gained 50 pounds since I've started this job, or, I haven't been able to get the baby weight off. And so it just, people want to be healthy. That's the thing. They just don't know how. And so like, if you message somebody and invite them to do this, you might be just like hitting the exact spot that they needed, and they just didn't know what to do to try.
Or they haven't seen your stuff because they haven't interacted. And I also, the one thing about connecting with people and not just, liking and post and saying stuff. And when you send them a private message, even to do like happy birthday and stuff, all of a sudden Facebook starts adding your stuff to their feed because you've had another connection, and they start seeing it. So it's good that's why I always try to wish everybody happy birthday and stuff, because sometimes maybe it might be somebody I normally wouldn't, or it's a new person. I've done that before and be like, hey, I was wishing somebody else happy birthday. I happened to see it was also yours too. I just thought I'd shout out to you and say happy birthday. And I always end it with, do you have any fun plans to celebrate? To lead into, if it's not someone that I don't know quite as well and we're just forming our relationships, that they'll lead back with, yeah, I had a great day. We just did this, this, and this. It's just a way to, our best way to do it is to always end with a question to keep the conversation flowing, which will lead into, hey, have you ever thought about joining me in my amazing community, and to keep going through your health and fitness goals, whatever they may be, because I have some people that are on track and ready to go, and they just do it for the accountability. And I have some people that are losing weight, which I'm sure everybody has just different goals and stuff. So I don't, always lead off with, do you need to lose weight? It's more or less just a accountability. Yeah, because people I don't want to invite them and think they need to lose weight, and I just let them know that it is an accountability group to use to be your personal best and to help you reach your personal goals.
That's what, I've heard so many coaches, like brand new coaches, and I get it because I thought the same things, but I just figured out how to not be that way. But you don't want to start inviting people and be like, hey, you want to lose weight? And then be like,
thanks.
Well, so I don't ever, whenever I start a conversation with someone, or if someone reaches out to me, I always say, okay, great. I'm really excited about this group. This is what we're going to do. Just tell a little bit about the group, meal planning, clean eating, workouts. And then I just jump straight into questions. I say, well, what's your goal for the group? Do you want to lose weight? Do you want to do you want to learn more about clean eating? Are you trying to just help your family eat better? Tell me what your goals are for the group. And that just opens the door. And I've not once said you need to lose weight, And so it's really easy to do this in an unoffensive way. It's just, I think that we psych ourselves out that people are going to think we think they're fat, Yes. I wasn't fat when I started, but I needed to lose weight. I was very unhealthy. And so my life has changed just dramatically, and it's not really apparent on the outside, but it is on the inside. And so you cannot prejudge. Prejudge.
Yeah. And I always say, no matter what you personally weigh, whether or not you feel comfortable in your own skin or not is only a question that you can answer. I have been, in that personal story that I shared, I have been 150 pounds and I have been 107 pounds, and I am 5'3". So those look amazingly different on me. But at 150, I was not comfortable. And at 107, I was not comfortable in my own skin because there was just different things that I was dealing with. And it's the inside that can make you, and whether or not someone looks fit or thin, or no matter what they are, whether or not they feel comfortable in their own skin is, that's kind of like my thing, tagline. I don't know. Be the best version of you is my thing, because no matter where you are at, you're just trying to make, I'll say you're amazing and beautiful the way you are, but you're just trying to make yourself a little bit better in the inside and stuff like that. So, I don't know. That's just kind of how I get around doing that. It's just your personal goals and being the best version of yourself to help you be, my thing, I don't have any guys on my team, to help you be a better mom, a better grandma, a better daughter, a better sister, because you're healthier and you feel better about yourself. So that's kind of my jam of where I go start from that conversation. So one of the things, after you have done that invitation, invited people to your birthday party, your challenge group, you want to follow up with them. So I usually just follow up and say something about, hey, just making sure you got that message. Or if people have started a conversation with you, but they've fallen off, then, you just want to check in and be like, hey, what were you thinking? Did you ever have time to watch that video? Are you still thinking about this? And if it falls off, and then the next month, if they don't respond back, I will still the next month go back to them and be like, hey, we were talking about this. I just wanted to follow up. Is now a better time? And kind of go from there. So I think the follow-ups are important. If you think about what you have purchased in the past? Have you thought about it for a while and done your research, and then time got away from you and then you never actually purchased it and stuff like that? So I think it's the same thing. You kind of do your research and maybe things get in your way if things are kind of busy. And then sometimes a little reminder like, hey, oh, I wanted to do that. Yes, I need to do it. So, I mean, are you going to, I don't message, are you going to join me or not type deal? But it's just, you're saying, hey, do you have any questions? Or that will be my follow-up. Just checking to see if you have any questions of what we've talked about so far and stuff like that.
Yeah, mine, I was going to say, like, I followed up with 2 people, like, right before we got on this call, and they both ordered while I've been on this call because, like, they're just busy. I mean, they have kids. One of them's a homeschool mom, and so, like, you can't just, if they don't message back, you can't take that as an indirect message that I don't want to join your challenge group. It just usually means that they're busy, and while fitness and health may be like the only thing that we think about, it's not necessarily for everybody else. And so follow up, 2 ways that I follow up. So like if I've started a conversation and we haven't gotten to, like, if I haven't sent them the challenge pack, but we're just kind of mid conversation, I'll message them and I'll say something like, hey, I'm about to create my group for my July 18th group. I wanted to make sure that if you wanted in, that you had a spot. Do you have any more questions about the group? I'm happy to answer them. Okay. So I definitely do that. I do pull that, like, if you want a spot kind of thing. I don't say it in a ugly way, but I'm like, I've got a couple spots left and I want to hold you one if you want it, but if not, I need to move on, basically. The other thing, like, so these 2 ladies, I had sent them the challenge pack link and, or done the Coach Mobile thing, and they hadn't done it yet. And so I just messaged them and said, hey, that I knew they wanted to order. And I just messaged them and said, hey, I just want to make sure, I want to check and see if you've got your order placed yet. If you let me know when you do, because I like to check and make sure it goes through and it ships out correctly. So that's what I always tell people. And of course, they were both like, yeah, okay. And they've ordered in the last hour. So, It's not follow-ups. I always say this, I always tell my coaches, follow-ups, I would say like 80% of my challenge pack sales are because I follow up with people. So if I didn't follow up, there'd be all these people floating out there that I started conversations with, but I'd never closed the conversation. And so, with this is a social media business, people are busy. We send a message, they're with their kids, they might see it and never respond. You've got to follow up.
Yeah, and I think a lot of times I use my messages a lot different than what I used to use my messages for. Now, I do not open one of my Facebook messages until I'm ready to sit down and respond, because they'll get lost, and I want to be able to click on unread messages and go through all my messages. However, before someone sent me a message, I opened it up, but I'm about to get in the car and do something, so I never responded. We forget that that's not how we use our messages back then. Before we were coaches, I would answer somebody, but I couldn't talk to them right now, or I was about to message them back, and the kids asked me to do something, and I set my phone down, and it totally escaped my mind. Now I just don't open a message until I'm ready to respond, because I'm afraid to lose that message, because they highlight it, you can see it on your computer better and stuff. But so we got to remember that not everyone is using it the way we use it now. So let's see. Okay. So the next thing we're going to talk about is like tracking it. And there's so many different ways of tracking it. And I will say I am so guilty of trying to figure out the perfect way to track, because that is me. I have to have it all ready before I do it. And I am so embarrassed to say, and please do not do this, I did an Excel spreadsheet. I tried, you hear about Asana, you hear about Google Docs, you hear about, there's so many stuff. Teamsy, you'll hear about so many different, Google Streak, you'll hear about so many different things. And I would spend a whole day or my whole power hour, whatever it was, trying to figure out, hey, is this going to work for me? How do I do it? And then try to load stuff, try to create my own forms. Don't recreate the wheel. Just start out some way and just kind of use it to your advantage, either whether or not it's a piece of paper that you wrote on that you can do it, or a Google Doc that you keep up with. I personally use Google Streak, but I'm a computer girl. I like to sit down and track and see that stuff. Rachel, what about your how you track?
I'm not the coach to ask about this. So typically I do use Asana. And a lot of times I will go I mean, like, honestly, one of the biggest ways I do it is just my calendar. So, like, if you write every single day, like invite or follow up, or, you know, and every day there's just this little column to one side of my calendar where I will write names down, which is great. And that helps me keep up with who I've talked to. But it's really important, I have found, to really keep up with people's stories, their why, you know, what their objections are, what they're struggling with, you know. And so I do that. I will typically sit down with Asana once or twice a week and just kind of update those contacts. And you can even set a reminder in there to, and I'm going to type that in the chat bar, to follow up with them. So like when I go in there and I check my calendar, it'll say, you know, Susie Q, and I'll click on it and say, you know, it'll show me our conversation, what she was interested in, and all that stuff. So, but I think that, honestly, I think the good old business activity tracker is a good thing to use, because like you can keep up with your daily task. It tells you exactly what you need to be doing every day as a coach in your power hour, and you can flip it over. You can write people's names on the back, and then you can just like 3-ring hole punch it and put it in a binder like this, you know?
Yeah.
And so this binder right here I have for people who have ordered and coaches who have signed up. And so I keep up with them using Beachbody's spreadsheet that way, but they don't really have one for just contacts, you know, and invites and like specifically like that, I don't think. So I think the good old business activity tracker, guys, I'm telling you, if you will sit down with that business activity tracker every day for an hour as a new coach, and you will go through it and you will do the daily things that it suggests. And you may not get through that whole list, but if you do those things that are at the top, you're going to build a business. You're going to attract people. People are going to start to follow you. You're going to motivate. You're going to inspire. You're going to sell challenge packs. You're going to rank advance. Like that business activity tracker, if you have not ever looked at it, if you've never printed it out once, if you have never even like tried to follow it, you might as well just say you're not coaching, because like it is, I mean, it's Beachbody, we give it to you. Beachbody gives you the tools for success and the things to do, like step by step, like post, work out, post, drink your Shakeology, you know, invite 3 people, read your personal development, listen to the National Wake Up Call. And, you know, those 4 things right there, like if you're doing them, you're going to have a business. Like there's no way not to. Unless you just, you know, like I said, are just super salesy or something. But I mean, that business activity tracker is awesome.
And I like what you said about, and I never even thought about that because I had like a separate list that just okay, so first it has like follow-ups that you can have on there. It even tells you to follow-ups. But the people that you're talking to that week, you could totally put on the back. I never even thought about that. So put it on the back once you get your new one, you know which ones to follow up with, you know, the people that you talked to the week before. So that's awesome. I never even thought about that. I would jot people down in my calendar too. And I, you know, I'm so horrible about, you know, like I'd always change so many different ways that I did it. So don't stress out about it. Don't do what I did, because I can tell you I spent hours and hours and hours. I even like created a whole binder for me to do because I thought I needed this binder and did all this stuff. And don't do that. Don't make it hard on yourself. Yeah, don't. Just do what is given and start there. And like I said, if you do follow that simple, I mean, all it is you tell Facebook to send you a link, you copy and paste the link and you can print it out. And the reason being is it just gives you a list of names that maybe might jog your memory of who to talk to. So that's the only thing I would really say and stress out about. If you did want to put it into the, you know, something or else, you can put it in something or else or other, but I would not stress out about that right now.
And one thing, like people, I always hear coaches say, well, I'm going to run out of people to invite. But I mean, if you're inviting 2 or 3 people, and by inviting, okay, so some coaches view this differently. Like to me, that is making genuine connections that you intend to invite people to a challenge group. Now, you may not sit down 3 times with 3 people every single day and say, hey, I'm a coach. Do you want to join my challenge group? To me, inviting is, you know, forming those connections with the intention to invite those people. And typically, you know, I can always turn a conversation to what I'm doing and inviting to my challenge group. But if you're inviting 2 to 3 people every single day, you're not, and you're adding those contacts on your social media page, you're not going to run out of people to talk to. And people think, also, like, so long as people are coming of age and they're gaining weight and they're having babies and they're, they're growing older, you're not going to run out of people who want to get healthy. That's just not possible. And like Melanie Mitro said in our Diamond team today, like, we haven't even gone international yet. So, we're still just domestic, and there's no way. Like, so if you have that mindset that I'm going to run out of people to talk to, you're kind of like psyching yourself out. But if you are just consistently posting and adding contacts and inviting people to challenge groups, not all those people are going to say yes. You're going to get a lot of no's. I promise you. Just get that in your brain right now. You're going to get no's. But those no's so many times turn into yeses. And so don't get psyched out and think people hate me. They think I'm stupid. They don't want to see me post, or they don't want to join my challenge groups, because people do. But your goal is to get 3 people, new people every month. Okay. And what is that in a year? That's 36 people. Good grief. We all know, we can find 36 people in a year to help with the challenge. Did I do my math right? Yeah, that was right. I had to think about that. But guys, I've hit Success Club 10 or higher 22 out of the 24 months I've been a coach. Okay. Oh, and so I'm not bragging. I'm just saying, I just do these things that we're telling you to do. I'm just consistent. I show up, and I could, even if I spend more time. Yeah, we are. I spend more time now on coaching because I'm growing a team, but I could do this, I believe, in an hour, maybe 2 hours a day as a coach. You could run challenge groups and hit Success Club every month. And so it's doable. You just got to trust us, and you've got to do it, even when you don't necessarily feel like doing it, because there are days where I'm like, God, I don't want to take a picture of my food. I even remember my husband one time. I was about 6 months into coaching, and I was cooking, and I was like, wait, I got to take a picture. He was like, so when do you get to stop doing that? And I was like, you don't really, but it helps people. And if that's all I do, then awesome. And I've told myself too, like, at times when I have wanted to quit, I ask myself, am I going to quit working out? No. Am I going to quit drinking Shakeology? Absolutely not. I'm not. Am I going to quit trying to eat better? No, because my family has benefited like tremendously from what I've done. So why not just post about it? Why not just invite people to challenge groups? That's all I'm doing. I'm doing that. I'm rocking my life, and I'm just sharing it with people. And if they choose not to come along, that's fine. But I'm going to continue to share.
Yeah, absolutely. I agree. Yeah, my husband's trained now when he sees like me taking pictures of when I've done desserts before and I try to make it look all pretty, like a healthier dessert version. He's like, this is all photo ready. Have you taken a photo yet, or can I have one now? Like, you're good. I've already taken the photo. So they just get used to it. I think the kids, have fun with it too. I put my boys are not in town with us right now, but my kids like to do it too and stuff like that. So it's fun. They need to see you and not Mrs. Perfect. They need to see you and your family, your fur babies, whatever it is, and just connect with you before they trust you. I think for me personally, weight is a sensitive subject for me. And so I think I need to connect with that person first. And so you're really, it's not something I was always very excited to share about. I was sensitive about it. So I think it's the same thing. You're just building those relationships that you feel in that comfortable mode to talk to people about it. All right, girl, do you have anything else? We talked about whether or not y'all are reading The Compound Effect and how that is going, and then seeing that how it helps you, and that we were talking about, trying to make sure that you read a little bit each day, even if it's right before you go to bed. I personally like to read a few minutes before I go to bed because I think it kind of gets my mindset right. I'm not reading Yahoo News and all the craziness that's going on in this world. I'm calming away from myself. I'm reading something positive in the evening before I go to bed, and it just kind of sets me up to have more of a restful sleep versus reading about all the craziness that you can happen in this world.
Yeah, definitely. Milo, please stop. But yeah, The Compound Effect is amazing. Like, I didn't do it. I'm telling you from my own personal experience, don't skip it. Don't skip this part. It's going to make or break your business. It's going to make or break your mindset. I am a spiritual person. I believe that Jesus is my Savior and my God, and that I should live according to what the Bible says. But I honestly, I thought that was enough at first, but I need personal development. God created these people with really good words to talk me down off of a ledge whenever I wanted to quit. And, for me to learn to speak in a more positive manner to myself. But the compound effect is a business tool. And it is going to make you, if you're not doing it, then, it's just going to be hard to stick with this, because in the beginning, you're not going to see the fruits of posting your workout selfie every day. You're not going to see, the benefit of reading that personal development every single day. But over time, it compounds and it builds. And I promise that it makes a difference. So that book is so important.
Yeah, I agree. I read it even when I read it just because Melanie discussed it in her challenge group, and I was reading it for like the health benefit. And I'll sometimes even buy it for my challengers, because the health benefit of just adding those small changes every day, it just adds up. So the same thing for your being a business builder. The small daily tasks that you do every day will add up.
That's all I got. I hope it helps.
All right, guys.
All right, I'm going to stop recording.